In spite of the fact that it was 21 degrees outside when I woke up this morning, it is very beautiful right now. The sun is shining and I'm enjoying every minute of it. Today I'm going to show you how to sew up a real simple table runner. You can buy fabric. I use fabric and trim that I already had in my stash. It takes half a yard of fabric and a yard of trim. As simple as it can seem, sometimes a table runner can make all the difference between a kind of boring table or a table that looks very, very nice and elevated. This size does well on a dining room table or on a coffee table or on an entryway table. It's kind of has a lot of uses. I am participating in a collaboration named Last Minute Christmas DIYs. I'd like to thank Anna from the Grace Life DIY Home Decor for hosting this collaboration. And on November 30th, she will be putting all these videos together in a playlist, so be sure to go to her community page around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see what everyone's been up to. So let's get started. This project is so easy and so much fun. You will get immediate results and immediate happiness from it. This project starts with a half a yard of fabric. I'm going to be using this fun holly fabric, and I have some red rickrack I'm going to put on it also. This fabric runs from selvage to selvage, and selvage is the side of the fabric that is you don't cut. It's like woven and it's already closed, and it's not going to ravel. We have to close up all the ends though. So our first order of business is going to be to turn this over about 1/4 of an inch and then turn it over 1/4 of an inch again. So you get an edge kind of like that. And as I'm turning it over, I'm going to iron it and then I'm going to sew it each side. As you can see, I've turned it over once. I'm going to turn it over again. You can kind of finger press it, and then I'm going to take my iron and just iron it to hold it in place. If you are confident enough to sew it after it's been ironed just like this, that's fine. You might also want to pin it or hand baste it or glue baste it. I find that I have to do one more thing besides just ironing it, because I want to keep my sewing on track. So I'm going to finish turning and ironing this side, then I'm going to turn and iron the other side. Okay, now that both sides are done, both long sides turned over and sewn, we're going to do the same thing on the ends. And since the ends are the selvage and they are not a raw edge, I'm just going to turn them over once like this. Make sure that the white isn't showing on the right side. It's turned over enough, and I'm just going to sew them right up. So the two short ends now we're just going to turn over and hem the same way we did the sides, except just with the one turn. Just like on the side, I like to put this down and iron before sewing. Just prevents, I think, mistakes. Well, both ends have been sewn up and we're practically done. We just have to put our trim on. So I'm using this rickrack, and I just have to make a decision where I'm going to put it. I kind of like it around about there. So let me measure that, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So it's about at 4 inches. So I'm going to pin this into place and put the rickrack at the other end at 4 inches also. When I pin it in place, I want to make sure I have enough overlap here at the end so I can turn this under. Because when we sew it, we want to sew it and then have this under the raw edge underneath on the other side like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this all the way along at 4 inches. You can pin this, or you can baste it, or you can glue baste it, whatever's going to hold it in place, because you've got to sew pretty precisely here because of the rickrack or any sort of decorative tape or anything. You want it to stay steady. So however you feel it's going to stay steadiest for you, that's what you should do. So let me go ahead and pin this and then do the other side. All right, so I've put rickrack on each end, measured and pinned, and turned it under on the back. And I'm going to take this to the sewing machine again and sew it on, and then we're done. So I'm outside now instead of at my sewing table, but that's okay. This is what the rickrack looks like sewn on to the end. It's the same on each end, just like that. And with everything trimmed up from behind, you can put it on your table. I know I'm going to be using it on mine. With small runners like this, you don't need to have a lot of different tablecloths. You can just use like a one white tablecloth and just dress it up with different looks. So that's a good thing if you don't have a lot of space. I want to thank Anna from the Grace Life DIY Home Decor again for sponsoring this great collaboration, and I want to thank you so much for watching.